Welcome back. Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer. We're going to unpack a really fascinating correlation between our modern communication crisis, Gen Z's search for meaning, and believe it or not, how building an exclusive community is basically the ultimate business hack. We're pulling insights directly from the Hustleverse today, and we're going to see how these massive societal shifts actually present just a completely incredible opportunity for you to rethink connection and ultimately success. So here's our roadmap for today. We're covering escaping the crab bucket, the Gen Z disconnect, the communication crisis, belonging as a business, and finally, your blueprint for success. Let's get right into it. Section 1, escaping the crab bucket and finding community. We all know that traditional crabs in a bucket mentality, right? Someone tries to climb out and achieve something, and the others just pull them right back down. But the Hustleverse actually flips this idea completely on its head. Picture this instead. Crabs outside the barrel, separated by these powerful, chaotic currents, but they are fighting to find their way back to each other. They grab on, they uplift, they protect the community. It's an amazing metaphor because true success, it really comes from identifying people who are struggling, putting your arms around them, and building together instead of tearing each other apart. But here's the catch. Before you can rescue anyone else or, build a thriving space, you have to cultivate that relentless internal driver within yourself. Every single day. The source material emphasizes this point heavily. You literally cannot transfer motivation to others that you don't personally possess. You've got to show up. You've got to build your own consistency and generate that internal fire first. Because, when you finally do find someone to uplift, you need to actually have the strength to guide them. Makes sense, right? Okay, moving to section 2, the Gen Z disconnect, looking at the unhappiest generation. So looking at this data, the crucial difference really lies in how our generational struggles have evolved over time. Older generations, they face severe physical hardships just to survive. Walked miles in the snow, that sort of thing. Gen Z, however, they're absolutely drowning in mental and emotional overwhelm. In fact, they're officially recognized as the unhappiest youth generation, specifically in places like the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. It's crazy because despite having unprecedented digital access, actually navigating today's world has never felt harder. It's a massive paradox, honestly. Modern comfort and this endless barrage of technology absolutely have not solved the core human problem of emotional emptiness. If anything, they've completely amplified it. Each generation becomes more technologically connected but emotionally disconnected. We have never, ever been more visible online, and yet we've never felt more isolated in reality. This brings us to section 3, the communication crisis and losing genuine dialogue. This emotional void didn't just happen overnight. If we look at the timeline, around 2005, we started out using real names to find genuine connections. But then by 2012, we transitioned into creating these fabricated avatars, those fake highlight reels projecting luxury just to hide our real-life struggles. Eventually, around 2018, communication completely degraded into passive scrolling and these generic, short little comments. And today, in 2024, that is morphed into severe online criticism and emotional ghosting. It's simple. Because we stopped using our true conversational muscle, we kind of just lost it. And the real-world symptoms of this crisis are glaring. We've actually reached a point where people don't just avoid simple phone calls, they're literally ghosting face-to-face Zoom meetings because just looking someone in the eye to have a real conversation is somehow too intimidating. The source notes it's even visible in the fast food drive-thru. Think about it. People often can't even maintain basic eye contact while just handing over cash for a burger. The entire interaction has become totally lifeless and purely transactional. A lot of this stems directly from what we call performative posting, which is basically presenting this fake, luxurious online avatar to mask real-life struggles. When people stop seeing each other as actual humans, and they start treating each other as just passive content to be judged or swiped past, empathy just disappears and isolation skyrockets. People are out there living these fictitious lives online while hurting so much in reality. And when the digital world lacks human respect, that toxicity bleeds directly into our physical, everyday interactions. All right, section 4, belonging as a business and creating exclusivity. So here is where the massive opportunity lies. If an entire generation is basically starved for authentic communication and just a place to fit in, the single most valuable thing you can build right now is a community of genuine belonging. The source highlights a really massive key here. A strong sense of belonging at work is a top predictor of Gen Z happiness. They don't necessarily want those strict traditional corporate desk jobs, but they absolutely want to feel seen, connected, and valued by a community. And, everyday physical retail psychology already proves that we humans actively crave exclusive clubs. Think about a regular supermarket for a second. It's open to everyone, it's purely transactional, there's zero connection. But then look at a warehouse club, like Costco or Sam's Club. People literally pay for a membership just for the privilege of walking through the door. It's wild. They want that shared identity, that unique access. And yeah, the food samples, but mostly that community feel. The blueprint for your online business already exists right here in the real world. So the takeaway? If you treat your online business simply as a transactional storefront, you're going to struggle. You really need to transition into being a community club, a place where people feel chosen, valued, and safe to communicate. You have to facilitate real dialogue instead of just chasing passive likes. Create that exclusive, members-only access. Build in live interactions, like real Zoom meetups. Because ultimately, you're selling identity and connection first. Your products, they're completely secondary to the community itself. Moving into our final part, Section 5, Blueprint for Online Success, and the one thing you need. Let's look at the upcoming live training with Wayne Crow. It's explicitly titled The One Thing You Need for Success Right Now. And this blueprint directly tackles the total paralysis of information overload. It refocuses everything on the absolute essential skills of connection and clarity. It is so easy to get lost in a sea of secret AI software and shiny new tools, right? But what actually works is establishing those foundational marketing skills, prioritizing clarity, and learning how to build true communicating communities. You really cannot afford to miss this community event, so make sure you take action. The source invites you to jump into the Hustleverse today. Just comment the word hustle to get the mega link and join the exclusive live training. This is your chance to really grab those foundational skills, secure your spot among fellow builders, and experience firsthand exactly what it feels like to be part of a real, thriving online community. So, I want to leave you with this pretty provocative thought. Are you just trying to make a quick, lifeless digital sale? Or are you ready to actually cure the connection crisis by building a true community? Will you continue to be a crab pulling others down in the digital bucket? Or will you rise above and build an exclusive space where people actually belong? The future belongs to those who communicate. The choice is entirely yours.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. I say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason. I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling. I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed. To something deeper than motivation. I don't need a reason. Don't need a reason. I am the reason. Am the reason. I don't need the feeling. Don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. Move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing it.
5 reasons why self-awareness is important, part 5. Improves leadership skills. One of the most important attributes of a good leader is swift decision-making. A leader should also be impartial and confident. All these are things that we gain by becoming self-aware. Knowing yourself removes internal fear, and you are able to focus on important matters. If you are ready to put your newfound awareness into action, comment HUSTLE for the official action plan.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 54, day 1, and we are right at 17 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start by peeling the curtain back and exposing that most valuable document in all of online marketing. The Hustlers 10-minute a day challenge, Doc. So we know today is Monday. Today is Take Your Heart Back Monday. So I'm not sure how your strong end went, your Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully you had a productive Saturday and Sunday. This weekend, it was pretty productive. It was some things going on this weekend. It was, excitement. It was challenges. But we know that in life, there's consistent cycles. There's opportunities and there's challenges. There's struggles and there's successes. So we roll through, we roll with the punches, and then we move on. We continue the journey. Now, today, I wanted to start off this strong week by addressing a specific community. So, as you heard in the beginning training, I had to share with you guys some information again about the Gen Z community and the struggles that they're going through. And it seems like the struggles, is never ending. It's continuing, and it seems like it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow, which means that with this struggle or with this challenge, there becomes new opportunities. So I pulled up one of my favorite tabs, one of my favorite, tools, as I say, which is the new tab section. And I'm looking at, the top stories and the things that's going on in the world. And I find some things shocking, you know, some things surprising, but not really surprising. I'm not sure if you're into politics like I am. I'm not that much into politics, but I try to keep informed about various things that's going on in the world. But this individual right here, for whatever reason, I enjoy watching um, parliament meetings, parliament hearings. They are kind of exciting to me. So unlike here in the US where you have, you know, those meetings and stuff that they have in front of Congress and things like that, they're okay, but it's something about parliament meetings that's just a lot more exciting. I don't know why, but I think it takes me back in the day when I used to watch shows like Benny Hill and all of those British style comedies, and they were like lively. They were, had a sense of excitement. And then when I watch Parliament, it's like when you watch, each side gets its chance to speak. They go back and forth. And each side has their own, what you would consider, cheering section. So as one person makes a comment and they hit a point, their party that's behind them, they 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 react, they cheer, they are vocal, they yell out things, and it keeps the excitement going. It makes it interesting. Then the other side gets to speak. And as they're speaking, they're making their point against the other side, their side starts to cheer. Or as they're talking, then the opposite side, they start to boo in their own special way. See, in the US, it's not really encouraged to be responsive and reactive once when someone else is, a member of another party is talking and stuff. It pretty much stays kind of subdued. They're kind of quiet as the speaker is speaking. But in parliament meetings, once again, they make it a little bit more exciting. It's something that seems a little bit more lively, and I kind of enjoy it. But this gentleman here, he's been going through some challenges, some situations within the recent months, which let me know that, okay, soon enough, something was going to happen. Either he was going to get removed, or, as it says here, Starmer resigns as prime minister. So this right here is not really what I want to talk about, but it was an interesting story that popped up on the feed, and I had to look at it and say to myself, I saw it coming. But as I watch him speak in those parliament meetings, he still put forth a face of someone who was there doing his job, and he didn't give any indications that he was going to resign. It's kind of like when they say the show must go on, and you still have to maintain face in, the face of opposition. Never let them see you cry. Never let them see you, you know, bend the knee. Always be in a position of power and be in a position of maintaining strength. Strength through how you present yourself, strength through the words that you use, and how you address your people. Now, this might have came as a surprise to some people, and maybe some others, they were, just waiting for when he was actually going to resign or be removed. But that's a whole nother topic, right? So today, what I wanted to talk about, and we're going to get there, but this right here is another interesting topic, and it makes me laugh also, because this is music related, but it's very telling. It has a bit of humor laced into this. Well, from my aspect and from a lot of people's aspect, this might be a little funny. It might be a little ironic. But it says here that Billie Jean holds top 5 spot on Spotify with 2.9 billion streams. So that right there is very interesting because recently, or not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, another music artist by the name of Drake, he released 3 albums at once. And his intention was to, probably not only just shock the world, be one of the first person to release 3 albums at once, possibly, or the most well-known artist to actually get it publicized, right? But his purpose was to be able to top Michael Jackson. So with him releasing 3 albums, he was able to make something happen that hasn't been done before. I believe he had a certain number of records in the top spots on Billboard and different things like that, right? So he was able to make history by doing that. But it seems like Drake has been in competition by himself, but with Michael Jackson for the longest, right? But I just want to click on this because I want to see if they actually mention anything kind of related to it. So it says here, just to give you a little insight, Billie Jean's global rank. The track maintains a top 5 position on Spotify worldwide with total streams reaching 2.9 billion. So cultural embedding factors, visual artistry, signature choreography, and extensive sampling have ensured his music remains relevant across multiple generations. His music, Michael Jackson, right? They didn't mention his name, but we know what they're talking about. And let me see. So, okay, so they mention Mike's name in it, but I also want to see if they mention Drake anywhere. Because a lot of times when you mention one person and you're mentioning the accolades of one particular person, they sometimes throw in their opposition, so to speak. All right, so they didn't mention. All right. Yep, yep, yep. So I anticipate that maybe in the next couple of days or so, there's going to be a Drake related story. That's just how, news works. That's just, how I see things always happening, right? So I anticipate there's going to be a Drake story out there somewhere, if not already somewhere in the feed. If we look for it, we will find it. I know that's the case. But uh and here it is. So the same 2 hours ago, curated by Copilot, right? So I'm telling you, I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm not just making this stuff up. This is how things work. This is how the world works. The world is, in my opinion, a little petty. Now, this might be important. Yeah, this is important. But as I stated before, whenever one side gets to speak and their party gets to cheer and make a comment and get excited, then there's the opposite side that gets to have something to say, and then their people gets to cheer. Not to say that Drake and you know Michael Jackson are on opposing sides, but when it comes to making historic things happen, these two have been in competition for a while. And more so, of course, Drake is still with us. So he's been in competition with uh, a spirit, so to speak, right? But it says here Drake passes Adele for ninth on Billboard, 200 weeks at #1. So, okay, so they threw Adele in there. Drake passes Adele, which is another very well known artist. So he overtakes Adele in Billboard 200 all time weeks. So Iceman's fourth week at #1 with 134,000 units sold. So that's one of the 3 albums that he dropped. And there, as you can see, Drake is in the news. But as I stated, that's not what I really wanted to talk to you guys about today. But it is interesting. And it is something that you should be paying attention to, because it just shows the power of exactly what I was saying. And additionally, it shows the power of trends, a key word called trends. If you can spot the trends, then you can actually predict where things are going. And if you can predict where things are going, then you can be there in advance of when everybody else decides that they want to search for those trends. See, in a recent training that I was a part of, I wonder why I clicked on that. Wanted to move the arrow from our president. But in the recent training, this right here, wow too. But in the recent training that I was on, we were talking about something called product jacking. And product jacking is a very valuable skill. It's something that has led to the success of a lot of online marketers. And what I was just talking to you about is a form of product jacking. So, product jacking, for those that don't know what that means, it refers to you seeing a product that's going to be released, that's not readily available in the public, but it has a release date sometime in the future. And you being able to get the inside scoop on that product so that you can be the first person or one of the first few people to be able to create content around it, create the story around it that's going to be what people actually go to and click on. That's going to be the story that people actually search for in order to learn about that product once when it launches. So let's say you have a new AI tool, which there's always a new AI tool coming out. But if you knew of a new AI tool that was coming out in a matter of 2 weeks, and you know that they are going to do promotion themselves and they're going to make their product well known as best as possible. But what they're going to do is they're going to talk positive about that particular product. They're going to do their best to make it seem like the best thing since sliced bread. That's one aspect of marketing. That's one aspect of promotion. That's them telling their side of the story. That's them representing for their particular party or their particular product, right? So once when it launches, they're gonna do their publicity, so to speak. They're gonna start making their rounds, and then people are gonna start asking, what is it so special about this product? Or they might say, hey, it sounds good, but it sounds too good to be true. This company or this representative is hyping up this product so much that I don't know if I really believe that it's that great. So what do? They do searches. They go online, they go on Google, they go on various platforms, they go on YouTube, they go on Reddit, and they look for information that might plug or put a hole in that particular product. See, that's the thing. There's always an opposing side, and there's always people that want to be on the opposing side. There's always people that want to, you know, make something seem like a gotcha type situation where they can find some information that deflates a launch, that says, hey, this product isn't any good. And for whatever reason, that makes some people feel good because they're like, well, I knew it was something wrong with this product or service. I knew it. And now they found it. They found an article. They found a YouTube video. They found a post that says that this product or service is horrible. Now, the hook might say that the product is horrible, but then once when you get into the story itself, you click on the link, then you might find that the tone might start off a little negative, but then it flips because the person that wrote that article is actually possibly on the side of that particular product, but they know human nature and they know that people are looking for negative reviews in order to justify their feeling about a particular product. So while you're watching all of this stuff, you're watching people talk about AI and this product, that product, and you're saying to yourself, it can't be that great. I know it can't be. I bet there's something wrong with it. I bet, it doesn't do everything that they say it can do. And then you catch something, an article, a post that says the one hole in this particular tool's armor, the one thing that it can't do. And then you're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. What is that thing that they can't do? I bet they can't do this. I bet they can't do that. So you're anticipating what it is that the article is going to be about. And a lot of times that's more valuable than actually watching the company promote it and give the positive spin. Even though that person that's seemingly giving a negative review, they're telling a negative aspect of it, they might actually allow the product to sell or help the product sell more than the actual representative, because the representative We already know and feel as though they're not going to tell us the 100% truth because it's their job to sell this product. So, product jacking, that's what we've been just talking about this whole time. There's various products and services, there's various, you know, perspectives that's being sold to us. And depending on where we listen and who we actually get our information from, that will guide us towards making decisions about that product. Now, when it comes to politics, there's usually two sides mainly talked about, but it's usually more than two sides altogether. But human nature says, for the most part, that we can only focus on two things at one time. It's either yes or no. If we start throwing maybes and possiblies and, all those different options and choices, then people start to get a little confused. They don't really want to, check the boxes. Kind of like how you see something and it says, was this product good, better, best? Did you like it somewhat? Would you recommend this on a scale of 1 to 10? Gives people too many options, right? So product jacking is what we've been doing in a creative way. Being able to identify one story and putting it against another. So there's so many things that's going on in the news today. This right here was another shocker for me. Faison Love rolled into court in a wheelchair as his $250K child support bill came due. That right there would make anybody's legs weak. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine you getting that bill for 250K. I could see anybody's legs just buckling and needing a wheelchair after that. So whether or not he actually needed one, I don't know. But we haven't heard about Faison Love in a longest. And depending on who you are, you might not even know who he is. But do your research. He's an actor. He's an actor that has fallen on hard times and that has real life situations going on that, has led him to the situation that he's in now. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. This right here is what I actually wanted to get to because it goes to our intro training. And it shows that they just won't leave Gen Z alone. And there's always a new story or a new topic talking about Gen Z. So this one says, Gen Z employees are being fired early. Why? So look at all these young people. And look at this. Why is the screen black? Why is the screen blank? Maybe that's symbolism right there. But let's see what it says here. Gen Z, born between 1997 and 2012, is making its way into the workforce. Well, let's not scroll. But the results have been mixed. According to a report by the education and career advisory platform Intelligent, challenges with Gen Z employees are prompting many employers to rethink their hiring strategies. So challenges with them, like what's going on? What's wrong with Gen Z? So it says the survey of nearly 1,000 hiring managers revealed that 1 in 6 employees hesitate to hire Gen Z workers, citing concerns over their reputation for being entitled and easily offended. Yo. Huh. entitled and easily offended. That's understandable. I can understand that. And you know something, I don't know why, but just that one section right there, it just made me think of a TV show. It's not still playing, but it was popular. I believe it's called Mad Men. Mad Men. I believe that's the name of the show. And the show itself was about, working in the corporate world, in a male dominated world. And it was at a specific time in history, maybe I forget exactly what time frame, but let's say the 60s and 70s or so, where women didn't have the same rights as men, and especially in the workforce. When it comes to corporate environments, women were mainly secretaries. They weren't in executive situations, positions, and they were forced to have to deal with certain things in the work environment. A lot of times women experience certain types of harassment and things like that, and they had to just ignore it and move on. But that statement right there made me think of that because be in that time frame, in that time in our history, you couldn't be, you know, there wasn't such a feeling of entitlement by certain people, and you couldn't be easily offended. Imagine working in that environment of madmen and you being part of specific demographics. You couldn't walk around and be offended. You had to take whatever came your way. If somebody said something to you incorrectly, somebody said something, uh, a comment, a gesture that nowadays would be considered inappropriate, there wasn't much you can do about it. It was like you had to accept it and move on. But now, with the way things have changed now, more rights, more workplace um, politics, more documents on how to conduct yourself, the things that you can say, the things that you can do, how you can't put your hand on your coworker's shoulder, you can't do this, that, the third. It makes it a real uncomfortable situation for some people. Now other people, they might ask for these type of situations. Hey, I don't want a person to look at me. I don't want eyes on me. When you see me, you should only look at me for 1 second and then turn away. Rules like that makes it so that it's an uncomfortable situation for certain people because they feel like they have to walk on eggshells. They don't know if they say to a person, hey, you look nice today, if that's going to lead to them being offended and going to HR and saying, hey, this person said I look nice today, I feel violated or something like that, right? So that one statement right there makes me think about all of this stuff. And in a corporate world, or depending on what type of environment, we might still be, they say the different generations, they looked at life differently. And when you go into a corporate environment, it's still being run by a lot of older generation people. So imagine someone in their 60s and 70s still being the CEO, president of these companies for, they've been in place for 20, 30, 40 years. And they're used to the madmen type of environment. That's what they were brought up in. That's what they're used to. They want to still maintain that type of environment where they can actually be free to do whatever it is that they want to do. And now you have Gen Z coming in and you say hi to them they get an attitude or whatever. Like, why is this person talking to me? They might turn up their face. They might feel entitled. They might feel like, hey, you shouldn't be even talking to me. I'm too good for you to even, address me. They might get easily offended. And some people look at that and say, hey, this generation right here is a little too sensitive. So that's part of the struggle that they're having. A difference in, you know, how they view the world, a difference in how they want to be addressed and treated. And it's pretty deep. I know a lot of Gen Z type people in those age ranges that lack simple, basic communication skills. No, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. None of that. None of the pleasantries. And even beyond that, I had someone do some work at my place a few weeks ago, and I knew they fell in the age bracket of Gen Z. But they came and went without even being able to, they lack communication skills. It was no, hey, how's your day going or anything. They didn't try to build any rapport with me. They didn't do anything. And one of the worst parts about it is they finished doing what they were doing and they just walked out the door. They didn't even say bye. And I'm sitting waiting thinking, okay, are they done? Are they coming back? I'm not knowing. So I'm like, okay, I would lock the door, but I'm not sure if they still have to do something. But they never came back. So I'm like, okay, that's just how you leave a place. You leave doing a job. You don't say, I'm done. You don't say, have a great day. None of that. So a lot of people in this particular age bracket, in this Gen Z type of culture, they not like other generations. And that's okay. See, there's a good side and a bad side to everything, depending on what side you look at it. If you understand what a person likes and what they don't like and what they really care for and how they conduct themselves, then you can come to expect certain things. You can come to expect, hey, they're going to walk past you and not even say hi. They're going to finish a job and just walk off and be done. They're going to look at you a certain kind of way, entitled type of way. They're going to expect that you not make so much eye contact with them. Something as simple as eye contact. I've noticed that a lot of Gen Z people can't maintain eye contact for too long, or they won't even attempt it. They'll talk to you. They'll look to the side as they're talking to you. They won't make any type of connection. It just feels like they just want the whole situation to be over and just to move on. But knowing this will help you. It will help you a lot. And this is what I want to get to, because I created something based off of a previous live that I did. And I'm not sure if I shared it. I might have shared it to some people. But this right here is something that I created a document called the Gen Z Content Blueprint. Now, this document right here is designed to help you if you are deciding to do any type of business with Gen Z. If you're looking to sell a product or service, if you're looking to market or advertise to this particular group, you need to know that there are specific things about them that you need to be able to do and things that you need to be able to avoid. Now, this picture right here kind of says it all. We have 5 Gen Z representatives, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all looking down at their cell phone. Now, this right here might represent them, being at home, being in a store, at a cafe, being anywhere on the planet. They could be sitting, waiting to be interviewed for a job. And this is possibly what they are doing, glued to their phone, not making any type of eye contact with anything that's going on around them, in their own world, in their own zone. And this is, you know, something that you have to be aware of. Now, it's not every person that's part of the Gen Z community, but it's a good amount. And you have to be aware. So as it says here, the Gen Z age range, we already went over that in the article, right? So as you can see, the information here is valid because it was just shared in that current information, right? So we talk about and we deliver information that's valid, that's accurate, so that you can make the best decisions. So that, for example, on a Monday, you can start to take your heart back. So you can start to take control of your life with real skills and actionable things based off of facts, not just one person's experience of how they were able to do this, that, and the third, and how it's a 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 opportunity where they just happen to get lucky. I'm going to say it. A lot of people just get lucky. Yes, there's skill involved, but let's be real. Some people have that it factor, so to speak. Some people find a way to break through and they become 1 in 1,000. But you don't want to be competing in a specific area where it's a 1 in 1,000 chance that you're going to be successful. Even though somebody might tell you, oh, it's so easy. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy for you. If you're Mike Tyson and you're talking about becoming a heavyweight champion, yes, Mike, for you, yes, you had your challenges and your struggles. You had to be that 1 in 1,000. So yeah, for you, it's easy to say that, but you can't sell me a dream that it's easy for me to be able to be a professional heavyweight champion. But a lot of people, they listen to the gurus and they believe that, you know, they're going to be the next big thing, just like that particular guru, just like, that particular person that's made a massive success in an area that has shown and proved that it's a 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 opportunity. But this right here is information that's based off of realistic facts and stats that, if applied, it makes those numbers a little bit more manageable. It tells you exactly what's going on a global scale, what's really happening in the world, so that you can create something that makes your chances a whole lot easier. So it says here, Gen Z lives on social, and it's their number one search engine. So Gen Z now uses social media as their primary search tool, even more than Google. They expect brands to show up everywhere. Okay. So it goes back to us talking about the product jacking. So if we're trying to target and sell products to Gen Z, are we just going to write an article and let it rank on Google? No, because that's, as they say, that's not primarily where Gen Z goes to search. So it doesn't mean that we're going to neglect Google, because we're still going to use Google, because we can sell the products to maybe another generation that might be actually buying the product for a Gen Z person. So you have to keep in mind that you're not solely tied to this particular generation or this particular target audience. It could be some people or a select group of people outside of that that's looking to purchase these products or services for that particular um, age range. So don't neglect Google. But what you can do is take that same article and post it on your social media page. Post part of it and say, hey, if you want to hear more about it, then click the link here or comment for the link so that you can go to the full article. But give them enough on a social media post to get an idea so that they want to discover it. So it says customer service, discovery, community, entertainment, and commerce. So it says they don't ask, what platform should I use? They ask, how does this platform fit into my life? Right? How does a platform fit into their life? So, 2, their core platforms ranked by purpose. Now, if you're the type of person that, wants to do things with purpose and you don't want to be wasting your time, these are the stats and the figures that you need to pay attention to. These are the things that all successful online marketers are paying attention to, and that's helping them be amongst the top 10%. The people that are actually getting the conversions, getting the leads, and actually having it lead to sales and commissions. So the core platforms, TikTok is number 1 for product discovery and entertainment. Their favorite place to discover new products. Short form video is king. Authentic, unpolished content wins. So with that information right there, a good 90% of you are already disqualified from being able to build a community and build a profitable business targeting Gen Z. I would say 95% of you are already disqualified because a lot of you don't want to go on TikTok. Somebody told you that Facebook is the best place for you, and this is where I've made all my money, and so this is the best place for you. And you decide that, yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna step outside of the box. I'm not gonna follow what the stats say or what the experts say. I'm gonna follow what this one particular expert says instead, and I'm gonna miss out on this whole big opportunity. Then the other reason why 95% of you are disqualified is because you'll listen to someone and they'll tell you that you need this done for you system where, hey, this right here is going to create everything for you. It's going to create the social media posts. It's going to do this, that, and the third. And you don't have to do anything but just show up, just set it up and let it do its thing. So people will buy products, buy tools, AI tools and all kinds of tools that's designed to do 95% of the work. And they'll fail because they're not taking advantage of the one thing that's important on this particular platform. They're not going to this platform, TikTok, and they're obviously not willing to do the things that's required to be successful on this platform. This right here says short form video is king. Not, particularly long form, which a lot of people, they don't want to do long form anyway. They're afraid to do long form. They feel like they don't have enough knowledge or skills or the ability to have a long extended conversation or to present information for longer than a minute, 2 minutes, or whatever, right? So this is a place that they should be because it respects and it rewards short form video, right? But it doesn't necessarily respect a done for you system where it's just creating everything for you. It's creating, you know, nothing but AI generated content that has no soul, that isn't really designed to build no like and trust. So you're still going to fail. It says here that they want authentic, unpolished content, and that's what wins. So what that really says to me is they want humans. They want humans being humans, making human connections. So all of this put together says to me that they want to see a face. They want to see someone speaking on camera. And if you go to TikTok right now, you'll see a lot of successful people, and all of them are showing their face. They're doing TikTok lives. They're speaking directly to their audience. And this is why 95% of people online fail, because they're buying products and services that don't allow them to do that. They buy these products and services that replace the human aspect because they refuse to get on camera themselves. I have so many business partners that are hard workers, that put in the work on a daily basis, that create content, that spend money, hundreds of dollars on tools. And these tools are essentially worthless because the tool itself, it does what it's supposed to do. It creates the content. That's the only thing that it's supposed to guarantee. But it's not what helps you sell whatever it is that you're selling. And a lot of my business partners, they fall victim to the idea that I'm just going to purchase this product and it's going to do all the work for me and then I'm going to become successful. No. It's the one thing that you fear that's going to help you become successful. The way I used to be afraid to go live and do live videos, now I don't have a fear of it. I get anxiety every now and then. I feel it when I speak sometimes. The little crackle in my voice, you know, the the heart racing, the anxiety. But I know that this is the real, authentic, unpolished content that wins. Now, whether or not anybody shows up, I often tell you, it doesn't matter to me, because that means that the people that I have within my circle that I thought appreciated the real valuable information, it just means that they're not the people that appreciate real valuable information. They're the people that are actually looking for the done for you solutions. So that's another thing. Realizing that there's nothing wrong with what you are doing in particular if you're doing the right thing. It's your target audience. It's the people that you attract or the people that you allow to be in your inner circle. That's the issue. Now, if you allow people that are more interested in being hyped up, being sold the dream, that's being sold done for you solutions, and you're the type of person that's all about, actually doing the work, putting in the work, putting forth the effort, then they're not going to show up. And that's good. That's good, because that's a statistic, and that's something that you can work with and build off. So if nobody shows up, then that means that all of the people that you thought were your target audience, that means that they are not. And that you need to either get rid of all of them, or you need to start finding people that are completely different from them. So that means that you might have to keep those people around just so that you can examine them, examine their habits, look at what they're doing. And then when you start looking for people that really fit your core niche, then you can look at those people and see if they have the same type of habits as the people that are not part of your target audience? Do they post simple motivational quotes? Do they post about products and services of somebody else's? Do they, never show up on camera? If you scroll their feed, do you never see them on video promoting themselves, branding themselves? Do you know that's not my target audience? Those are the type of people that don't want to really do the work. But then when you find people that do the opposite, people that look more like you, people that do videos, people that show up, people that do long form content, people that are actually on TikTok, then you realize those are more of my target audience, and those are who I need to replace my current community with. Everything is a learning experience. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole document because I don't want to keep you guys too long on this Monday, because I know how Mondays are. Mondays can be very draining simply because you're anticipating the worst. Even though it's just started, you still got a whole rest of the week to go, but you're anticipating and you're already drained for just having to show up to work or whatever. But I want you to, be able to get the right information that will help you make the best decisions. And I just want to talk to you about this second part right here, because it's something that I've been working on. This platform right here, Instagram. So it says aesthetic plus reels plus community. It says 80 to 91% of Gen Z uses IG. That's a big statistic. So that's where they are. So it says reels equal viral engine. Stories equal intimacy plus behind the scenes. Okay. Now, my biggest challenge is I don't do a lot of behind the scenes type of things. But with this information and knowing that this is what they like, it's on me and it's on you. If you decide that you want to target this particular audience, it's on you to step out of your comfort zone or change things up so that you can attract them. And if that means telling more stories, being a little bit more intimate, doing more behind the scenes type stuff, then that's what you're going to have to do. It says anywhere on this document that you're going to have to buy a done for you tool, or that you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars on something that's supposed to get you traffic and this, that, and the third. No. This document isn't about that. It's about you actually learning what is really necessary in order for you to build a profitable business. And it's all up to you if you want to get access to it and take advantage of the information here and actually apply it. Now, I know it's scary. I know it's hard. I know it's challenging. I know it gives you anxiety. I know it makes your chest pound just to think and just to know that you're going to have to do some things that are uncomfortable. But the best part about it is, just like when I first started going live over a year ago, I thought that it was going to be so hard to do. I thought that, I thought I was just going to, be horrible at it, that it was going to be something that was going to hurt. But this right here, it doesn't hurt. Being able to talk and communicate with your audience, with people, it's not something that hurts. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to build you. And this is one of the only skills that you need to develop. And the great part about it is, it's not going to require you to spend thousands. I know you don't want to believe it. I know you want to believe that your success is in some tool that a guru is going to sell to you. They're going to get you all hyped up and emotional and thinking that this is going to be the one tool. But that's their job. That's their job, to sell you something that's designed to give you a sense of moving forward. I have business partners that's bought in dozens of tools, and it's gotten them no closer to success than when they had none of those tools. All it's done was give them something else to have to learn, focus on, and then discard, because the guru is going to have another product, another service to sell to you in the next 2 weeks, month, or whatever it is. And that's how they're able to make money. But it's not a bad thing, right? It's a learning experience, because if your goal truly is to learn how to sell, then that's what you need to learn. But everybody's goals, they're getting their goals misaligned. If you're being a consumer, then your goal can't be that you're trying to, you know, obtain wealth, be a producer of wealth, create income producing opportunities for yourself. No, it just means that you want to fuel and feed the person that is the producer. So stop buying these shiny objects and start focusing on the real information that's going to help you become successful. And that information comes from people like myself. But of course, the people that's really trying to help you and that's trying to give you the valuable stuff, most people avoid those type of people because they're telling you the hard truth, something that maybe right now you don't want to accept, but maybe it's because you haven't gone through enough pain. You haven't drained your bank account enough. You haven't bought enough shiny objects. You haven't been able to sit down and reflect and look and see on your credit card statement that you bought 4 or 5 tools and you don't use any of them. Or you bought 4 or 5 tools and you use all of them, but they haven't produced any amount of result. And what's even worse is to be in a position where you're being sold these tools by an individual who doesn't even use the tools. They don't even use the tools. They were successful before the tool even came out. And they don't even use the tool to help them build success. The tool itself is what creates the wealth for them, because they're selling it to you. Does that make sense? So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. Hopefully you've gotten enough value out of it to help you make a better decision on this Take Your Heart Back Monday. If you're interested in getting access to this document right here, I want you to comment Gen Z, and I will send you information on how you can get access. But this isn't going to be free. No. See, your biggest issue is that you want everything for free, but you can't have everything for free. You can't. The most valuable things in life are not free. Now, if you want it, you have to earn it. If you want it, you have to deserve it. If you want it, then you have to get access first to the most valuable document in all of online marketing, which is the document itself is absolutely free. The link is in the description of this video. But in order to get access to that specific document on how to target and build a successful business focusing on Gen Z, you have to first grab your mega link, because success requires investment. Investment in yourself, not a particular product or service, not a particular done for you tool, but in information that's going to make you the best tool on the planet. See, you have your hands and you have your brain and you have your ability to type on a laptop to create anything and everything that you need in order to be successful. So don't rely on a singular AI tool in order to get it done. Rely on real skills that you develop within yourself so that you can become even better than the AI tool yourself, because you're only as good as the sum of all the tools that you use. And those tools are only good as the person that puts the tool in their hand and actually goes to work with it. So you have to fortify yourself first. So first, grab your mega link. And when you grab that, then I'll give you access to the Gen Z doc so that you can take the foundational skills taught in, this system here and be able to apply it and make it useful to whatever niche, product, service, community that you want to apply it to. So with that, once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live, and I hope to see you in the next live and at all of our live trainings so that you can get the most valuable information on the planet. Have a great rest of your day. See you in the next live. Once again, comment Gen Z or click the link in the description to get access to this document. And when I see you've taken one step towards your success, then I will take 2 steps towards helping you reach the next level of your success.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's game. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence, even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no 6-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew.
tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call. So I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spin like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chants. For the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat